Understanding Organizational Culture, a PowerPoint presentation by Suzanne Jones. First, it will be helpful to have a shared understanding of what organizational culture is. Dr. Edgar Sheen, who is well known for his groundbreaking work on the organizational cultural model, stated that the basic definition for organizational culture is a set of shared meanings that make it possible for members of a group to interpret and act upon their environment. Many things can influence an organization's culture. The environment and atmosphere, such as if there's a competitive feel, whether or not members expect and are compensated for their accomplishments, what standards and policies the organization focuses on, the other members of the organization and how they interact with one another, leadership and how closely and for what purpose they watch the members of the organization, and how the organization is laid out, such as what is the hierarchy like. All of these things combine to make up the culture of the organization. It's generally agreed that there are 4 types of organizational cultures: clan, adhocracy, market, and hierarchy. There is not a one-size-fits-all type of culture that would fit all organizations. Each company first has to decide what needs and goals the company has, and then they need to establish the culture that will best fill these needs. Many cultures are separated by industries, though some of the industries do cross the lines. Every company has different standards, outcomes, and expectations, and the culture of the company should reinforce those company goals. The different cultures also lend themselves to different results. Clan organizational culture is mostly focused on their members feeling a bond between each other and the company, and adhocracy culture is more focused on change and adaptability. A market culture has an emphasis on achievement, and a hierarchy would be more focused on stability. Dr. Benjamin Schneider, who was an affiliate research scientist at the Center for Effective Organizations, and a few of his associates, wrote a paper titled Organizational Climate and Culture. And in this, they discuss a list of beliefs that define each of these cultures. So first, looking at the members of the clan culture, people in this culture need to feel trust, loyalty, and membership towards their organization. The clan organization tries to make its employees feel like they're one of the most important parts of the company. And if the members don't feel connected to the organization, it can't be considered a clan culture. Members of an adhocracy culture realize that their job is to focus on the task at hand, and members of this culture do not necessarily expect to feel united with other members of the organization, but depending on the company, there could be some closer connections. They realize, though, that they are there to accomplish their job that they believe is important. Members of a market culture have clear objectives that they are trying to accomplish. They also expect some kind of compensation for their achievements. Since this is quite a competitive type of culture, it is focused more on individuals than on a cohesive group. Members of the hierarchy culture expect to be given specific roles and procedures that are heavily regulated. Though this may sound oppressive to many employees, we'll discuss when this type of culture would be useful. Industries and organizations obviously have different ideas as to what makes them effective and a success. The company culture will dictate what behaviors are expected to meet the organizational goals. So if you're looking at the clan culture, clan members are expected to openly communicate and participate as a team. The organization will know it's effective if the members have high job satisfaction and a commitment to the organization. While this culture would not work well with all industries, 2 companies have found this culture to be a huge benefit to them. Zappos and Google are both known for their high job satisfaction. The employees feel a high commitment to these companies because they believe the companies view them as the employee as a great asset. If you're a member of an adhocracy culture, you're more prone to take risks and to be more creative and adaptable. This culture measures its effectiveness by how innovative it is. This type of culture would obviously be a huge benefit for technological companies who are constantly trying to stay ahead of the competition. An example of this culture can also be seen in the movie Apollo 13, when a group of people are expected to come up with an innovative solution at a moment's notice. A market culture is focused on gathering information, setting goals, accomplishing tasks, and they have more of a feeling of competition and aggressiveness. The effectiveness of this culture can be measured through increased market share profits, product quality, and productivity. Examples of this type of culture can be seen in companies such as Amazon, who are constantly gathering information on its customers so it can send targeted ads to them to hopefully entice them to purchase more items. The hierarchy culture has an expectation of conformity and predictability from its members. The culture can be measured as being effective if the organization is running efficiently, timely, and smoothly. While this type of culture would not lend itself to innovation, it's perfect for fast food industries who are expected to put out consistent results, and it would also be very useful in the manufacturing departments of many industries where the employee's only job is to put together a piece of equipment. Intentionally building an organizational culture. At a technology conference, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg told the Wall Street Journal that a company needs two things to be doing well. One, to have a clear direction, and two, have great people to execute the ideas. No matter what the organization is, intentionally shaping the company culture will help with both of these goals. Why is it even important to actively shape an organization's culture? Professor Eric Embry of BYU Idaho stated that leaders are the guardians and shapers of culture within an organization. If you are a leader in an organization and you are not tuned into the culture and intentionally trying to influence it in positive ways, you're just leaving it to chance. He goes on to state that a culture will develop with or without the leader's guidance, but that it's leaving it totally up to chance whether the culture will end up being either incredibly positive and useful or end up being something that actually drags the company down. Professor Embry gives a warning to leaders concerning their organizational culture. He said that if you as a leader are not paying attention to that and you are not seriously trying to influence it, then you are failing. A scholarly study entitled Innovation or Imitation: The Role of Organizational Culture helps confirm the need for intentionally creating an organizational culture. The study discusses an investigation that was made concerning what effect the culture of a company has on innovation. One of the findings stated that the culture can actually stimulate innovative behavior among members of an organization, since it can lead them to just accept innovation as a basic value of the organization and can also foster commitment to it. So if a company depends on innovation to succeed, they would want to make sure that they are creating a culture that leads to this. A second finding in the study was that an adhocracy culture actually fosters innovation strategies, and hierarchical cultures promote imitation cultures. Thinking back to the type of organizations that are adhocracy, innovation would be very important for companies such as technology companies that need to stay ahead of society. The hierarchical companies, on the other hand, will create a climate of imitation, which is fine in industries such as fast food, but would be disastrous in technology companies. So for a company to succeed, they need to be sure the company culture directs their organization to the desired outcome. Once an organization has followed Mark Zuckerberg's advice and has a clear direction as to what they want to accomplish and has the people they feel can help execute the organization's goals, then they need to take steps to ensure the organization continues to work effectively. Harvard Managed Mentor gives advice that organizational teams can take to ensure their results remain consistent with the company's needs and expectations. They advise that organizational teams should periodically evaluate their performance and make any necessary mid-course corrections. Once again, all companies have different goals and expectations, so first they'll need to clarify the team's objectives and determine if the results reach the expected outcome. Depending on the company, these results could include performance results, such as improved customer satisfaction, lower production costs, enhanced product quality, or faster delivery time. These measures will be determined by the team's objectives. Contrarily, the desired results may be improved cultural qualities, such as increased commitment to teamwork, level of individual participation and leadership, collaboration and information sharing, conflict resolution, credibility and trust, positive interpersonal relationships, a willingness to make changes and take risks, and individual and team learning. Notating whether the team accomplished its goals or not is only the first step in evaluating. They should